Alright, welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So, the art contest event has started, and the boss, War Greymon, is pretty fast, so let's take a look at his moveset. So, first up we have Chaser Shoot, a pretty familiar attack. So, he starts casting, and then he fires this blue homing bomb after his target. It follows you around for about 3 seconds, and then it explodes, doing a lot of damage, but it's pretty easy to avoid. All you have to do is just dash away when you see that the bomb has stopped. Although he does like to follow this attack up with Spiral Rush, which could be a little dangerous. And then up next we have Combination. It's a melee combination attack, as you would guess, and it's pretty easy to avoid. So for this attack he first does a kick, and then he does 4 punches. So to avoid this, all you have to do is just dash backwards when you see him wind up for the kick, and make sure that you keep your distance, because he does do 4 punches after that, and he kind of moves forward a little bit, so be sure to keep your distance. And up next we have Fall Fire. So he jumps backwards straight into the air, and then he slams into the ground, creating a row of fire pillars straight in front of him. This attack is pretty dangerous because it lasts for a while, and it also effectively cuts the arena in half, so it doesn't really give you any room to move. But to avoid it, all you have to do is just dash to the left or right, and you should be able to avoid it. And up next we have Fall Shock, the opposite of Fall Fire, but it's a lot less dangerous. So he jumps into the air, but this time he moves forwards instead of jumping backwards, and then he just slams into the ground. This attack is a lot more dangerous for long-range characters than it is for close-range characters, because close-range characters technically don't even have to move to avoid this, because he's always going to move forward when he jumps, which means that as long as you're standing in close range and you just don't do anything, he's going to miss you. So long-range characters actually have to pay attention to this, and they most likely have to dash away once, but he doesn't cover a whole lot of ground, so it should be easy to avoid. And then up next we have Light Arrow, another familiar attack. So for this one, he first bends down, and then he sends these blue orbs into the air, and as soon as those orbs fly up, you can see that you're going to get hit by something, and then on that spot where you got hit, there's going to be a laser from the sky that slams into the ground. This attack should be easy to avoid as long as you have anti-flinch with you, because that'll allow you to tank that first really weak hit, and then you can dash out of the big one, which doesn't really cover a lot of ground, so you should be able to get away with just one dash. But if you get hit by the first one without anti-flinch, you're most likely going to get caught by the second hit as well, so if you're not running anti-flinch, you might want to try guarding that first hit. And up next we have Might Discharge, a pretty rare close-range attack, and it's also similar to some of the roaring type of attacks that the bigger bosses have. So he starts gathering this blue energy, and then he just discharges it, creating a circular explosion. Now, he does telegraph this attack pretty heavily, but the windup is a lot faster than you would expect it to be. However, it doesn't really have a lot of range, so all you have to do is, as soon as you see that blue energy gather around him, just dash backwards once, and you should be able to avoid it pretty easily. And then we have Ray, another symbology attack. So he starts casting, and then he spawns this huge bundle of lasers on top of his target, and this bundle of lasers actually covers quite a wide area. Most of the time you have to dash twice to get out of its range, but if you see that he's targeting you, then try to stay as far away from your teammates as you can. That way they won't get hindered by the lasers, and all your teammates should also pay attention to where the tank is, so that they don't accidentally run into the lasers. But other than that, it's pretty easy to avoid. And then we have Spiral Rush. So for this attack, he first jerks back, and then he starts dashing towards his target. And it actually looks like there's 2 types of rushes, one where he moves very quickly and one where he moves slowly. But to avoid it, all you have to do is dash to the side, and you should be safe. And then lastly, we have Upper Fist, another close-range melee attack. So for this one, he first does an uppercut with his left arm, and then he does a straight with his right. This attack is pretty much the same as Combination. It's also very easy to dodge. All you have to do is just dash backwards, and you should be able to avoid it. But make sure that you don't dash behind him, because I have seen him turn around sometimes to hit you with that one punch. And his Enrage attack is the one-shot power-up. And I'm just gonna say this because I don't think I've said it before, but Misery 1's hair aren't as easy as they were in Global. If you want to pass a Misery 1 quickly and effectively, you're actually gonna have to play on manual, because it makes farming so much faster for everybody. It's so much easier. I mean, technically you could play on auto, but you're gonna need a completely maxed out character with an on-element weapon, possibly gears as well, and not many people have that, so I highly recommend you play on manual when you do these quests. But aside from that, we're done here, so hopefully that was helpful, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace!